cross back for the live parliamentary proceedings. The House is still on a lunch break, and at the time business was suspended for a lunch break, the House had just finished considering a motion that was moved by Kalomo Central Member of Parliament, Mr. Harry Kamboni, urging that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Education, Science and Technology on the proposal to ratify the Convention of the African Regional Cooperative Agreement for Research, Development and Training related to Nuclear Science and Technology Agreement, and that such adoption signifies the approval of the House for the third session of the 13th National Assembly laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. And Joe, when business resumes this afternoon, we do expect the House to consider some bills. Let's take a look at the bills.
Yes, so we do expect the House to consider 4 bills, and the first one is the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024. This bill to be considered at second reading, and the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024 to be considered at a second reading stage.
We also expect the Zambia Qualifications Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024 to be considered at committee stage, and we expect resumption of committee work on the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. And just to make mention, today business did resume at 09 hours. This follows the motion that was moved by Her Honor the Vice President that Standing Orders 24, 1, 27 and 123 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable the House to sit from 09 hours until business on the order paper for each day is completed from Wednesday 31st July to Friday 2nd August 2024, and also to consider more than one stage of a bill at a single sitting. And so earlier on, when business resumed, we did see Madam Speaker give 2 announcements. The House also did consider urgent matters without notice.
So the House also did consider one urgent question, Understanding Order 82, a question which came from Mr. Mukosa Kalalwe Chinsali, Member of Parliament. Thereafter, 3 questions of ordinary nature, Understanding Order 80 were considered. We had one question from Mr. Murenga Kove, Mr. Francis Kampianga Mpika, Constituency Member of Parliament, and also Mr. Kove also did ask a question to the Minister of Infrastructure. And also we had 2 committee reports that were adopted when the House sat from 09 up to the time the House was suspended for lunch break.
Exactly, Joe. In a short while, we will be crossing over for the live parliamentary proceedings. And like mentioned earlier, we expect the House to consider 4 bills during the afternoon session. Live pictures coming to you as members of Parliament get ready for the parliamentary proceedings to resume.
Honorable Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker,
Bells are still ringing. That signifies a quorum has not yet been constituted. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. So once a quorum is constituted, we do expect business to resume, and we expect the House to consider 4 bills this afternoon. The first one being the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024 at second reading, and the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024 at second reading.
We also have the Zambia Qualifications Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024 to be considered at committee stage, and the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024 to be considered at committee stage. So there will be resumption of committee work.
And so business today resumed at 09 hours. This follows the suspension of standing orders 24-1, 27 and 1, 23 of the National Assembly of Zambia standing orders. A motion that was moved by Her Honor the Vice President yesterday, and this necessitates the House to sit from 09 hours until business on the order paper for each day is completed, from Wednesday 31st July to Friday 2nd August 2024, and also to consider more than one stage of a bill at a single sitting.
Just to remind our viewers that you can also follow the proceedings on Facebook by visiting our Facebook page. That's the National Assembly of Zambia. Get to like the page and follow all the parliamentary proceedings from there.
I hope the honorable members enjoyed their lunch. Order. When business was suspended, the House had just finished considering the motion moved by the honorable member for Kalomo Central that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Education, Science and Technology on the proposal to ratify the Convention on the African Regional Cooperative Agreement for Research, Development and Training related to Nuclear Science and Technology Agreement, and that such adoption signifies the approval of the House for the third session of the 13th National Assembly laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. The clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Madam Speaker, permit me to express my profound gratitude for allowing me this rare privilege and opportunity to address this House and the nation at large on the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 9 of 2024, which seeks to amend the Civil Aviation Authority Act number 7 of 2012. The bill aims to enhance Zambia's civil aviation safety and security profile. This will play a key role in attracting more airlines to the country and ultimately contribute to government's aspirations to transform Zambia into an aviation hub for the Southern and Central Africa. Madam Speaker, Zambia is a state party to the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO Chicago Convention, signed in Chicago in 1944. As a state party, Zambia has certain obligations under the convention, including ensuring the safety and security of civil aviation within its territory, granting certain privileges to the aircrafts of other state parties, cooperating in the development of international air navigation, and adhering to the principles and standards outlined in the Convention to promote the safe and orderly growth of international civil aviation. The proposed amendments will ensure that Zambia complies with the Chicago Convention and the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO standards and recommended best practices. Identified gaps in the Acts of number 7 of 2012. Madam Speaker, the following are the identified gaps that the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 9 of 2024 seeks to address. Number 1, the current Act does not provide for the domestication of Article 83 bis of the Chicago Convention. The article assists with the structuring of cross-border aviation transactions by providing a mechanism for ensuring safety oversight of an aircraft that is operated from another state. Owing to the increase in the number of foreign airlines operating in Zambia, Madam Speaker, domestication of this article is cardinal to enhancing the safety of the Zambia civil aviation industry. Number 2, the current Act does not provide for the domestication of the protocol relating to an amendment to the Convention on International Civil Aviation, Article 3 bis, which provides for mechanisms to address the threat posed by the use of weapons against civil aircrafts in flight and enhanced security measures to protect the safety of passengers and crew on board. Number 3, the current Act has inadequate provisions to ensure that air navigation services code for under Article 28 of the Chicago Convention are provided in accordance with ICAO SAPs as established from time to time. And number 4, the current Act has inadequate provisions on monitoring and enforcing compliance. The Act does not provide for authorized officers to inspect and have access to the manuals, certificates, approvals, authorizations, permits, officers is cardinal in enhancing compliance and thereby safety. Madam Speaker, additionally, enactment of the bill will bring any significant concerns during the ICAO audit scheduled for August 2024. For the information of this House, ICAO audits the aviation safety and aviation security oversight capacities of its 193 member states. ICAO assesses a state's by assessing whether the state has effectively and consistently implemented. ICAO also conducts actions for state safety concern based on various factors including risk indicators, previous audit results, deferrals, the level of activities in the state, and progress made by the state in resolving identified deficiencies. Once sufficient information is received indicating that the SSC has been resolved. Since the European Union ban of 2009 barring Zambian registered aircraft from flying in the EU airspace, Zambia has made significant strides to address safety and security concerns. During the 2014 audit, Zambia stood at 48% in its effective implementation, which is a measure of a state's safety oversight capability, and at 60% during the 2016 audit. Once this bill, Madam Speaker, is enacted, it will complement the efforts of the government and the Civil Aviation Authority to continuously improve the safety and security of Zambia's civil aviation. It is my earnest appeal for all of us to support the enactment of this bill. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Any further debate? The chairperson of the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, the Honorable Member for Chipangali.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in accordance with the Standing Orders 207J of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024, the Committee on Cabinet Affairs was tasked to scrutinize the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 9 of 2024, referred to it on Thursday, 18th July 2024. Madam Speaker, allow me to bring to the attention of this august House that Zambia is a state party to the Chicago Convention signed in Chicago in 1944. As a state party, Zambia has certain obligations under the convention, which include, among other things, ensuring the safety and security of civil aviation within its territory. In addition, Zambia is required to cooperate in the development of international air navigation and adhere to the principles and standards outlined in the Convention to promote the safety and orderly growth of international civil aviation. The bill, therefore, seeks to amend the Civil Aviation Authority Act number 7 of 2012 to enhance Zambia's aviation safety profile as well as enhance efficiency in the operations of Civil Aviation Authority. Madam Speaker, the amendment was necessitated by the country's scheduled continuous monitoring approach audit and the International Civil Aviation Organization's coordinated validation mission in August 2024. Therefore, it is imperative to address some of the gaps in the primary registration in order to get positive results. Madam Speaker, the committee notes that the amendments are progressive and will enhance Zambia's standing in the international aviation. I will point out some progressive provisions of the bill which are highlighted in the committee's report. Madam Speaker, the bill allows the Civil Aviation Authority to establish or acquire an aviation training school for public use on a commercial basis. This is commendable as it will have a multiple-phase positive impact on the aviation sector of increased availability of qualified personnel, which is essential for the safety and efficient operation of the aviation sector. Madam Speaker, the committee notes that the bill allows the Civil Aviation Authority to enter bilateral agreement with the aeronautical authority of another country and consent to transfer the country or part of the authority functions concerning a Zambian registered aircraft engaged in international navigation. This is meant to ensure compliance by the aircraft operators with rules and regulations of the country relating to the flight and maneuvers of the aircraft and the use of the aircraft radio transmitting apparatus. This is a positive move with regards to enhancing the power of the Civil Aviation Authority. Madam Speaker, the amendments in the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 9 of 2024 collectively aim to modernize Zambia's civil aviation regulatory framework, improve safety and security standards, and ensure compliance with international aviation norms. The improvements in regulatory clarity, safety, oversight, and international cooperation will lead to a safer, more efficient, and globally integrated aviation industry in Zambia. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I wish to pay tribute to you and the Clerk of National Assembly for the unwavering technical support services rendered to the Cabinet Affairs Committee. The committee also wishes to thank all the stakeholders who tendered valuable written and oral submissions during its deliberations, which formed part of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, permit me to thank you once again for the opportunity to make a few comments. I don't intend to say a lot of words today, Madam Speaker, because I think the context of the amendments and the report that the Honorable Chair and Member of Parliament for Chipangali has presented, I think are in line with my submissions. Madam Speaker, the bill has specific amendments. There's a request from the committee that we support these proposed amendments, and obviously the minister responsible for transport, this is one of those bills where we don't intend to argue a lot or differ in opinion, because fundamentally, Madam Speaker, if we enhance safety in this very sensitive sector, because the aviation sector is a very sensitive sector, it requires enhanced safety. Safety for those that are flying our planes, safety for those that are coming into Zambia, safety for those that are leaving, going for business across various countries. So, Madam Speaker, the gist of the amendments is well understood. But the last point that the Honorable Chairperson of the committee has raised, the issue of the Civil Aviation Authority, and one of the proposals that has been made, that obviously we need to have a school that will be able to train our young people, those that want to be able to do and run commercial flights. Because obviously, Madam Speaker, if today we were going to ask ourselves, how many of our young men and women coming out of high school would actually want to be pilots, for instance? Majority of them, Madam Speaker, may have that dream. But unfortunately, to obviously go and acquire the skills that they need, the skills, the actual expertise that is required, Madam Speaker, we may not have the facilities available locally. Now, if I was to ask how many of those could actually afford to get into the UK, get into South Africa, get into one of these countries where the actual training is acquired, Madam Speaker, high chances are that very few, only the privileged would be able to do that. So, Madam Speaker, as I support the proposed amendments, I want to emphasize, Honorable Chair of this committee, many Zambians are not privileged to actually acquire the skills to start flying planes. I hope that as we do these amendments, we may now need to ask ourselves, how much money do we need to be able to set up some of these training facilities? Madam Speaker, Zambia is surrounded by many countries. If we had the right training facility within Zambia, chances are that many would actually come into Zambia, acquire the training, and be able to go back into their respective countries and be able to fly commercial planes. So, Madam Speaker, the people of Kamfinsa support the amendments, but I think we need to interrogate the issue of the training school. Honorable Minister of Water, I know you want to debate, but allow me to summarize my submissions. These are very important submissions, Minister, because somewhere in your constituency, someone wants to become a pilot, but unfortunately they can't afford. Here is an opportunity. We amend the law, but let's go a step further, Madam Speaker. We establish a correct training facility. I know there's something that we have in Kabwe, but I think we can't do more unless we provide the resources. Madam Speaker, I submit, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to make this submission.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to, that's what we are here for. We are here to do this job. Madam Speaker, I want to start by thanking the mover of the motion, the Honorable MP, who is also a member of ICAO as a pilot. So indeed, you are the right gentleman for the job. Madam Speaker, the amendments to the bill which are intended to enhance civil aviation security, to ensure that Zambia remains a safe destination in terms of civil aviation. And the bill is seeking to ensure that the Civil Aviation Authority, which performs an oversight function of ensuring that all the facilities, aircrafts are safe, starting from the aircrafts and investigations that go in case of accidents that occur, but more so the safety of our various airports. Madam Speaker, this is important because as we have read from this report, we are going to be audited by International Civil Aviation Authority organization this year in August. And what the audit report reviews is what most of the international stakeholders in the civil aviation take. And I heard the Honorable Minister stating the fact that we want more airlines to get into Zambia's as a safe destination. That's how it should be. And Honorable Minister, that's why it's important that when certain occurrences happen, you expedite investigations so that you are not, caught napping. Here I have instances such as what was recorded not too long ago, where aircrafts from another country were allowed to land in our airspace, got to the airport. Some of them were even accessing the restricted areas near the VVVIP apron. Those are the things that subtract in these audits that go on. You recall that some of those aircrafts were even found carrying some firearms. Those are things that a cow tried to restrict in making sure that the safety of vessels and the airports is granted. Those foreigners who were allowed to fly in and carrying stacks and stacks of money could have been terrorists, because that's how they move. So such instances must be thoroughly investigated so that as you are rendering the report, because they are recorded, they don't end up here. The fact that those aircrafts were international registered aircrafts, they go into the records of ICAO. So you should strive to ensure that when such incidences occur, they are investigated thoroughly so that you are cleared. So, and this will make us avoid what transpired in 2009, as you recall, that all the aircrafts that were Zambian registered were banned from flying to Europe, as the report is informing us. So we must strive to avoid such occurrences, and where lapses like that happen, we must see heads roll, because those lapses of those seemingly criminal elements who flew in here to come and wanting to transact using dollars with firearms in their aeroplanes were very dangerous to be allowed. So such instances, Honorable Minister, don't let them go quiet. You need to render the investigative report so that we are not put in that category of dangerous destinations for our civil aviation industry. Madam Speaker, I thought I could just add those few comments. I wish to support the report and commend the mover of the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? Since there are no indications, the Honorable Member for Chipangali winding up debate. Oh, sorry. The Honorable Minister of... it's my mistake. It's after effects of lunch.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the mover of the motion, the chairperson of the committee, indeed through him to the rest of the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, and indeed all stakeholders that were obviously had an input in coming up with this apt report speaking to this particular motion, Madam Speaker. Allow me further, Madam Speaker, to basically speak to some of the issues that the Honourable Member for Kamfinsa did raise. I would like to thank the Honourable Member for that observation and perhaps simply state that you may be preaching to the converted, because as a ministry through the Civil Aviation Authority, obviously that is an area that we are very cognizant of, and that amongst the many reforms we shall be undertaking is to ensure that our training school, ZASTI, is equally reformed to be able to answer, perhaps operate in a much more commercially viable way. Because as you may appreciate, ZASTI was created basically to provide staff training, internal staff training to Zambia's own aviation sector. Thereby, obviously, with the slump and decline in the subsector that we saw post-1994, for instance, we saw that there was no chance for ZASTI to be able to attract even students from within the region. Amongst the reforms we shall be undertaking is to look into this aspect and allow ZASTI to perform that very, very crucial role, and also to take advantage of this hub that we're trying to create. I think that there's a lot in reforming our economy to attract students, to be able to bring in resources into this country from our neighboring countries and beyond. So thank you very much for that observation. The Honourable Member for Shiwangandu couldn't have put it in a much better way. I totally concur. What had happened in that particular incident was indeed very, very regrettable, Madam Speaker. This is something that we took very, very seriously. It did result, obviously, in a number of changes within the structure around, civil aviation, and that we are also taking steps to really enhance security systems that are going to look especially at our international airports. Indeed, we cannot afford for Zambia to be labeled as a dangerous destination. Ours is to try and walk the talk and actualize what has been a going concern for, various administrations of creating Zambia as an aviation hub. Madam Speaker, I just want once again to say that this is truly non-controversial, it is non-partisan, it is actually a national priority that we make these reforms so that our aviation sector can thrive. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read a second time.
The Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024.
Committee stage to be taken when?
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Committee stage to be taken tomorrow. Is it Wednesday? Thursday, 1st August 2024. Next order.
The Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024. Second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics.
Madam Speaker, once again, thank you for according me this opportunity to address the House and the nation at large. This time, I present the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill number 10 of 2024, which seeks to amend the Civil Aviation Act number 5 of 2016. Like the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill number 9 of 2024 that I just presented. The aviation industry is dynamic, with technological advancements and evolving security threats necessitating continuous updates to aviation legislation. This bill will also ensure that Zambia complies with the Chicago Convention and the International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO) standards and recommended practices, and avoid registering any significant safety concern during ICAO audit scheduled for August 2024. Additionally, the amendments will enhance the operations of the Civil Aviation Authority and Aviation Accidents and Incidents Board. The AAIB in particular needs to be empowered to operate in accordance with ICAO standards and SRPs. Madam Speaker, I identified gaps in Act number 5 of 2016. Let me highlight the following critical areas that are being proposed Civil Aviation Amendment Bill 2024. Number 1, providing a legal basis for the civil aviation requirements, Part 14, in the operations and management of aerodromes. This amendment is being proposed as the Act currently only recognizes ICAO requirements and not Zambia's established requirements. Number 2, introduction of provisions on how to handle obstructions at an aerodrome and provisions to reduce wildlife strike hazards. These provisions are being proposed to enhance safety at all aerodromes. This includes measures to address the construction of structures within or around the aerodrome and the designation of dump sites, landfills that attract wildlife, etc. Madam Speaker, these provisions will address the continuous challenge we face of constant encroachment and building of residential dwellings in or around airports. This behavior is completely unacceptable and should be deterred before it gets worse. Number 3, enhancing the authority of the AAIB during investigations. The proposal is being made to provide a legal basis for the AAIB to exercise its functions in accordance with Annex 13 of the Chicago Convention as follows. I, enhancing AAIB unhampered power to aircraft accidents evidence. The proposal is being made to provide a legal basis for the AAIB to exercise unhampered access to and control over all relevant material and or evidence, including flight recorders and air traffic service. 2, to enable the AAIB carry out detailed examination. The proposal is being made to provide a legal basis for the AAIB to carry out detailed examination of relevant material and or evidence without delay relating to aviation accidents or incidents. Lastly, 3, to provide non-disclosure of information to AAIB. The proposal is being made to ensure that the legislation has provisions to provide for the non-disclosure of investigation records to unauthorized personnel relating to aircraft accidents and incidents investigations. Madam Speaker, I wish to reiterate government's commitment to continuously improve the safety and security of Zambia's civil aviation industry. The bill being proposed serves to protect passengers, crew members, and the general public while also promoting the orderly growth and development of the aviation industry. I once again urge you all to support the enactment of this bill. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? The chairperson of the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, the Honorable Member for Chipangali.
Madam Speaker, the Committee on Cabinet Affairs was tasked to scrutinize the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill number 10 of 2024, referred to the committee on 18th July 2024. In executing the task, the committee consulted various stakeholders who made both written and oral submissions before it. Madam Speaker, let me hasten to state that all witnesses who interacted with the committee were in support of the bill. A summary of the stakeholder submission is recorded in the committee's report for the consideration of this August House. Madam Speaker, the committee is also in support of the bill. Allow me to highlight some of the pertinent issues contained in the committee's report. Madam, Zambia is a state party to the Convention on International Civil Aviation, also referred to as the Chicago Convention. As a state party, the country has to comply with the requirements of the International Civil Aviation Organization. This organization provides standards and recommends practices in the aviation industry globally. Madam Speaker, the Civil Aviation Act No. 5 of 2016 is one of the principal laws in aviation and provides for the safe, secure, and efficient use of civil aviation in Zambia. Among other provisions, the Act provides for the grant of permits for air services and airport services, implementation of a state safety program, establishment of an independent aircraft accident investigation board, security for civil aviation, a national aviation security program, air services, airport services, and air navigation services in compliance with the Chicago Convention and its annexes. Madam Speaker, as already alluded to, the convention to which Zambia is a state party provides standard and recommended practice for the aviation industry. The International Civil Aviation Organization, which has a membership of 193 countries, including Zambia, provides oversight to its member states through a number of interventions such as Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program. Madam Speaker, past safety and security audits conducted in Zambia highlighted the need for the Civil Aviation Act No. 5 of 2016 to be amended in order to address identified gaps and bring the law into conformity with international standards and best practices. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the bill has provided in Clause 15 for the Zambia civil aviation requirements as enshrined in the Chicago Convention that each contracting state develops and promulgates national registration and standards to comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization requirements. Madam Speaker, the bill has promulgated regulations to enhance aerodrome safety, alleviate wildlife strikes, and ensure wildlife control in the vicinity of an aerodrome. It has introduced provisions that give an aerodrome operator power to remove any obstructions that are likely to be hazardous. Additionally, aerodromes operators have further been endowed with the responsibility to take measures aimed at minimizing collisions between wildlife and aircraft at aerodromes. Madam Speaker, the bill has further augmented the provisions regulating construction, maintenance, use of aerodrome infrastructure, and so on. The bill prescribes for consent of the Civil Aviation Authority prior to an airport operator constructing a structure beyond the obstacle limitations. This is progressive as it supports regulation against obstacles at aerodromes. Madam Speaker, the committee is confident that the enactment of the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill No. 10 of 2024 will, among others. 1, enhance the country's aviation safety profile. 2, ensure compliance with the Chicago Convention, the International Civil Aviation Organization standards, and recommended practice. 3, enable Zambia to avoid registering any significant safety concerns during the audit scheduled for August 2024. The committee supports the bill as the proposed amendments are non-contentious and are crucial for enhancing safety and security, as well as improving competitiveness of the sector and ensuring adherence to current international standards and practices. This will ultimately lead to the overall development of the aviation sector and enhance Zambia's desired goal to be an aviation hub. As I wind up, Madam Speaker, the committee urges the House to support the bill, taking into account the concerns raised in its report. The Committee on Cabinet Affairs is grateful to the stakeholders who tendered both written and oral submissions. The committee also appreciates the assistance that it received from your office, Madam Speaker, and the office of the clerk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kamfinso.
Madam Speaker, allow me once again to thank Chairperson of the Committee on Cabinet Affairs for bringing to this August House your report, Madam Speaker, which is seeking another amendment, this time to the Civil Aviation Act. And I'm grateful, Honorable Minister, that the specific reference to one of the mandates of this proposed amendment is obviously the issue of airport services. Honorable Chair of the Committee, Madam Speaker, and Honorable Minister responsible for transport, you are aware that Zambia currently has got the Ndola Airport, Lusaka Airport, and obviously the Livingstone Airport. What you may have noticed by now is that the volume of traffic coming into our airports is not yet to the required levels. And because we don't have enough people coming into our airports, Honorable Minister, we are not maximizing the benefits that are supposed to come from these airports. So as we do these amendments, one of the issues that the chairperson referred to are airport services. I think it's important as a country that as we support these amendments, Honorable Minister, we now need to ask ourselves, how do we ensure that these facilities, built at a huge cost on taxpayers' money, how do we maximize benefits? How do we ensure that the Ndola Airport, which is supposed to be a facility that should allow us to do business with other countries, is utilized? For me, Madam Speaker, I think we need a strategy. Do we just change the law and we end there? Madam Speaker, we shouldn't end there. We need a strategy on how these airport facilities could actually help us maximize revenue that would support our economy. So, Madam Speaker, very quickly, the people of Kamfinsa support the proposed amendments, and I hope that the Minister responsible for transport will take note of the request that the people are making. We can't have that beautiful facility in Ndola not being utilized. Madam Speaker, we support the amendments. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Transport and Logistics, winding up debate.
Madam Speaker, once again, just to thank the Committee on Cabinet Affairs and all that made submissions in coming up with this very thorough report for the good job that has been done. Indeed, the chairperson of the committee has pretty much summed it all up in terms of what it is that we intend to achieve in this exercise. Insofar as the Honourable Member for Kamfinsa's comment is concerned, once again, I want to say that we are alive to the infrastructure that was built at a great cost to our balance sheet, meaning that it was built obviously with debt, and that we need to refocus into what we are trying to call non-aeronautical revenue, where there must be other ventures that must be undertaken in order to help in being able to recover in terms of having much more earnings from these internationally good infrastructure that has been built in our country. Unlike what the Honourable Member says about the volumes, since this new Dawn administration took over, you just need to take a walk to the Airports Corporation and you will see that we have already surpassed the pre-COVID levels in terms of numbers. More airlines are being registered, and this is why we're being proactive to be able to even give back some of that authority which was vested in my office, such as the issuance of air service permits and licenses, that these must be devolved to the civil aviation in order to enhance that proactiveness of that body as it is obviously monitored by a CAL. So, Madam Speaker, this is truly in an effort of cleaning up this aviation subsector so that we can answer to all these challenges, and that the dream of causing Zambia to be a hub in the aviation in this region shall become a reality. But may I also further add that it is because of these issues surrounding safety that once they are enhanced, it's not just the act of landing a plane in this country, but when you have a safe airspace, even those aircrafts flying past you or over this country do in the end also leave us a token. Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank you.
I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read a second time.
The Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024.
Committee stage to be taken when?
Tomorrow, Madam.
Committee stage to be taken tomorrow, Thursday, 1st August 2024. Next order.
The Zambia Qualifications Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024. Committee stage.
I now consolidate orders 3 and 4, and the House will now resolve into committee.
Order, and avoid the unwarranted utterances, or else you'll be given a month to rest. The Zambia Qualification Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024. Clause 1, short title. Any debate, any objection? Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, interpretation. The question is that Clause 2 stands part of the bill.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you. I beg to move that clause 2 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 2 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate? Any objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 2 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. As many are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 2 as amended is ordered to stand as part of the bill. Clause 3, continuation of Qualifications Authority. Any debate, any objection? Clause 3 is agreed to. Clause 4, seal of authority. Any debate, any objection? Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, functions of authority. The question is that clause 5 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 5 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 5 be amended as words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 5 as amended stands part of the bill. As many are of that opinion, say aye. Of the contrary, say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 5 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 6, Board of Authority. Any debate, any objection? Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, Functions of Board. Any debate, any objection? Clause 7 is agreed to. Clause 8, Delegation of Functions. Any debate, any objection? Clause 8 is agreed to. Clause 9, Tenure of Office and Vacancy. Any debate, any objection? Clause 9 is agreed to. Clause 10, Proceedings of Board. Any debate, any objection? Clause 10 is agreed to. Clause 10, Committees of Board. Any debate, any objection? Clause 11 is agreed to. Clause 12, Allowance of Members. Any debate, any objection? Clause 12 is agreed to. Clause 13, Disclosure of Interest. Any debate, any objection? Clause 13 is agreed to. Clause 14, Prohibition of publication or disclosure of information to an authorized person. Any debate, any objection? Clause 14 is agreed to. Clause 15, Immunity of members of board, committees, and staff of authority. Any debate, any objection? Clause 15 is agreed to. Clause 16, Director General, Secretary, and other staff. Any debate, any objection? Clause 16 is agreed to. Clause 17, National Qualifications Work Frame. Any debate, any objection? Clause 17 is agreed to. Clause 18, Objectives of National Qualifications Framework. Any debate, any objection? Clause 18 is agreed to. Clause 9, National Qualification Framework Levels. Any debate, any objection? Clause 19 is agreed to. Clause 20, Sub-Frameworks. The question is that Clause 20 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that Clause 20 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 20 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? The amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that Clause 20 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 20 as amended is ordered to stand as part of the bill. Clause 21, Prohibition from awardings and registered qualification. Any debate, any objection? Clause 21 is agreed to. Clause 22, Application for registration of qualification. The question is that clause 22 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 22 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 22 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 22 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 22 as amended is ordered to stand as part of the bill. Clause 23, registration of qualification. The question is that clause 23 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 23 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 23 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate or objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 23 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Madam Speaker just offered us lunch. But of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 23 as amended is ordered to stand as part of the bill. Clause 24. Validity of certificate of registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 24 is agreed to. Clause 25. Renewal of certificate of registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 25 is agreed to. Clause 26. Deregistration. The question is that clause 26 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 26 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 26 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 26 as amended stands part of the bill. As many are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 26 as amended is ordered to stand as part of the bill. Clause 27, variation of qualification. The question is that clause 27 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 27 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 27 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 27 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 27 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 28, suspension and revocation of certificate of registration. The question is that clause 28 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that a new clause after clause 28 be inserted with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 8 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 8 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The yes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 8 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 29, prohibition of employment, appointment or enrollment without verification of qualification. The question is that clause 29 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 29 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 29 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 29 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 29 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 30, verification of qualification. Any debate, any objection? Clause 30 is agreed to. Clause 31, verification and evaluation of foreign qualification. Any debate, any objection? Clause 31 is agreed to. Clause 32, revocation of certificate of verification or verification and evaluation. Any debate, any objection? Clause 32 is agreed to. Clause 33, funds of authority. Any debate, any objection? Clause 33 is agreed to. Clause 34, financial year. Any debate, any objection? Clause 34 is agreed to. Clause 35, accounts and audit. Any debate, any objection? Clause 35 is agreed to. Clause 36, annual report. Any debate, any objection? Clause 36 is agreed to. Clause 37, duplicate certificate of registration, verification and evaluation. Any debate, any objection? Clause 37 is agreed to. Clause 38, registers. Any debate, any objection? Clause 38 is agreed to. Clause 39, standard setting. Any debate, any objection? Clause 39 is agreed to. Clause 40, appeals. Any debate, any objection? Clause 40 is agreed to. Clause 41, offenses by principal officers of board, corporate or incorporated board. Any debate, any objection? Clause 41 is agreed to. Clause 42, offenses and penalties. Any debate, any objection? Clause 42 is agreed to. Clause 43, administrative penalty. Any debate, any objection? Clause 43 is agreed to. Clause 44, regulation. The question is that clause 44 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Education.
I beg to move that clause 44 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 44 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. I put the question. The question is that clause 44 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 44 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 45, repeal of Act number 13 of 2011 and savings and transitional provisions. Any debate, any objection? Clause 45 is agreed to. Schedule on page 23, any debate, any objection? Schedule on page 23 is agreed to. Long title, any debate, any objection? Long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee with amendments. The Mineral Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. When business was interrupted yesterday, 30th July 2024, the Committee of the whole House was considering Clause 3 of the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. And the Honorable Minister of Mines and Mineral Development was responding to a question asked by the Mr. Chewe, and may the Honorable Minister continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As was stated, Mr. Chairman, the response to Mr. Chewe is that government still stands by the fact that that provision can be taken care of through an SI. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I say anything on the proposal made by Mr. Kalowo, Honorable Member, I just wanted to draw attention to the Minister, the remarks that he made before adjournment yesterday, where he was saying the people of Africa, we don't know why they could start talking of something when they know the position of the government the direction where they're just wasting time. So I was taken aback because this issue, this bill is here to debate, to make some changes if at all we can. Mr. Speaker, I think I concur with the proposal of to make changes so that we don't just rely on statutory instrument. If we can come up with that law in the Act where we say it's 40%, Mr. Speaker, whoever investor who come from wherever he is, he will know that in Zambia, there is this law. Whenever I want to come and invest anything in Zambia, you will know that the state will have a stake of 40%. It will not be negotiable. So we cannot rely on the statutory instrument. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Mineral Development.
Mr. Chairman, government's answer still stands that we can achieve that through an SI. I thank you.
Mr. Kalowo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we note the responses from the minister from yesterday. One, we said we are very serious government, meaning they are serious about raising the shares. Number two, he's told this House that the way he has proposed it, that's the way government wants. Government cannot want to take a certain direction in putting up certain policies. It's the people. This should be driven by the people. So it's a bad answer to tell this House that, no, that's the way government wants it. Then if they are serious, we are saying, can we ring-fence? Because why are they scared to ring-fence it in the law? Why we don't want an SI? An SI, one person can wake up and change. This time, these people, these mining multinationals, they are full of corruption. They'll bring a bag of dollars. One person will fail to contain that pressure and wake up and change regulations. That's why, going forward in all our laws, this issue of saying shall be prescribed, giving powers to one individual to decide, should come to an end, because going by the experiences, Mr. Chairman, if you look at history, mineral royalty and mineral wealth is what has built nations. For example, South Africa, where we are coming from before privatization, we had 51% shares. We had control, we owned the mines and we had control. Our country developed and was diversified using local resources. After privatization, we lost ownership and control. Now development, we have to depend on external borrowing. What is that? If we were to turn this country into a glory place of gold and hope, number one, we have to define mineral royalty. We also have to ring-fence 40%. Minimum. Minimum as a minimum. Any adjustment can be made between 40% and 100%. Mr. Chairman, the way we are submitting, the advantage, maybe we give examples on what we have experienced as a country. We had the liquidation of Zanaco and Rabobank of Netherlands. We have a controlling share of over 40%. The arguments that are there, we don't see them. All we see is progress. Go to Indobank, same. Our experience with mines from time of MMD after privatization to date, when these mining multinationals say they are retrenching, government always has been saying, we will not allow you to retrench, but they go ahead and retrench. We've been giving examples. Now our debate will become monotonous. But they say in Bemba, where emphasis is placed too much, that is why there is a problem. We have said, any shares that are below 30%, it means you have lost control. 30% partial control, 40% is a controlling share. We've been a passenger on the board. Should we continue to be a passenger? The fights that have indicated the Indo-Bank and Zanaco, we don't hear them because everyone's decision is respected. It ends in the boardroom. By the time they are walking out, there is give and take. If one bends 40%, another one bends 40%. That is why we are saying we should ring-fence a 40%. If we don't do that, there is no need of even amending this law. What advantage is it giving? Because it is just taking away. I'm not going to preempt other things that Mr. Chairman. I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Mr. Chairman, why this government has even decided to do or bring about the Minerals Commission bill is to bring sanity to the mining sector, to regulate, to control. And what the Minerals Commission bill is trying to achieve is exactly that. Because if I were to go in details, I'll still refer to the past. So it takes a step to climb a mountain. And this is what this government is doing. And we have given a way out in terms of thresholds. We are saying this is not the end of the world. We want this bill to be as it is. But then if government sits down and thinks that we have to have thresholds in terms of, I was not speaking when you're, please don't open me up. I'll hit you. So, Mr. Chairman, can I be protected, Mr. Chairman?
No, you are protected. You are protected. I'm just observing.
I want to be very controlled, Mr. Chairman. I want to be very, very controlled. Mr. Chairman, government's position is that we can achieve that through an SI. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I put the question. The question is that clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The noes have it. Order. The question is in the negative. Clause 4, principles. Any debate, any objection? Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, the Minerals Regulation Commission. Any debate, any objection? Clause 5 is agreed to. Clause 6, functions of commission. Any debate, any objection? Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, board of commission. The question is that clause 7 stands part of the bill. Mr. Kalobo.
Mr. Chairman, I beg to move that clause 7 be amended with the words as circulated.
I didn't hear you, sir. What did you say?
I was saying, I beg to move that clause 7 be amended with the words as circulated.
The question is that clause 7 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? The Honorable Minister of Mines and Mineral Development.
Mr. Chairman, the bill has provided a diverse composition of the board of the commission, which is adequate, and that in the event that a representative of the House of Chiefs, for purposes of effective administration of the commission, there is a window for the House of Chiefs to contribute through subcommittees at the board of the commission. I wish to reiterate, Chairperson, that the traditional leadership are ordinarily part of the administration of the mining licenses. Because, Mr. Chairman, you cannot get a mining license without the consent of the chief. So meaning that the chief has power at that point. For exploration licenses, there is no consent. But when you decide to go into mining, you can only be given if there is consent from the chief. So at that point, the chiefs are actually taken care of. So they are really part of policy, and also in the strategic decision making, they could be taken care of at the point of subcommittees. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kampyongo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson. We do appreciate the explanation that has been given by the Honorable Minister, in that he's saying that the chiefs may be catered for under the subcommittees, and that they play a role by giving consent before any activity of mining nature, be exploration or mining itself, is undertaken in the only in mining. Yeah, but what we are suggesting, Mr. Chairperson, is that we are not saying every chief. We are suggesting the move of the motion to make an additional amendment is saying that a representative of the House of Chiefs, which is a national organ. Yes, subcommittees will just be subcommittees. The main board is the main board where decisions are made, and it would have just been prudent that the Royal Highnesses are covered in the board through a representative from the institution called the House of Chiefs. I thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Mineral Development.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you and I appreciate the Honorable Member, your submission, very important. Now, Mr. Chairman, I want to assure the Honorable Member and through him, the Zambian people, that having a document that stops a license is a lot of power. Because, Honorable Member, if you applied for a license today, first and foremost, I want to explain the difference. At exploration stage, because you are searching, you are looking for minerals, you don't know whether you are going to go into mining or not. Now, when you define the resource and you know that now you are going into a mine, you cannot get a mining license unless there is lawlessness and corruption. Otherwise, straight, you cannot be given a mining license if your application is not attached with a consent from the chief. That one, it doesn't work. So it actually gives their Royal Highnesses power. It means that that is the order of the license, before you come to the Ministry of Mines, you now have to go and sit with your chief and say, here we are a mining company, we've been exploring. In fact, it is important that even at exploration, you just respect their Royal Highnesses and go to them and say, we are in your area, we are searching, we are looking for minerals with an exploration license. So now converting it to a mining license, you cannot convert without that letter of consent, which gives them now the ability to be able to have a say in what is happening, and it is completely taken care of by that aspect. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kalowo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Minister, we note your explanation. If you check all these mining multinationals holding large-scale mining licenses, they exist in these chiefdoms. It's like they are mining in the house, inside the house of this chief. So being represented through a subcommittee will not do. They are supposed to be part of the board so that decisions that affect their people, that affect themselves, they are part of. Maybe give us an explanation, maybe we understand what is the advantage of not having a chief on the board, maybe, so that maybe we can move on one page, because that explanation around the one you have given, for me, is not giving an advantage. Can you enlighten this house and the Zambians at large, I'm sure even where they are seated, they are listening. What is so difficult? Because these are the custodians of this land where these mines exist. So what is so difficult? Why is government scared to have them on the board? Maybe, can we have this conversation? Maybe. Are you scared of their opinion? Are you scared maybe they'll stand for their people? There will be no room for manipulation? So, can you make us understand so that we buy into your idea? Mr. Chairman, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the biggest attributes of the UPND administration is that we are not scared to face our people, because we have nothing to hide. We are straight government. We are a straight government, and we don't want to extend presidential term. It's you who wanted to do it through Bill 10. Yes. You are going with bags of money to people. What are you talking about? Don't spin the wheel. You are the ones who were doing that. So, Mr. Chairman, we have given a lot of power to our chiefs by that consent. That's a very powerful document. Meaning you can't mine if they don't give you that, because then cadastre won't give you a license. So if that is not enough power, then what power do you want? If you can stop mining at that point, then what else do you want as power? So it will just be a multiplicity of roles. So this government is very smart. It doesn't want to ruin confusion like you were doing. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I put the question. The question is Clause 7 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Or the contrary say no. The noes have it. The question is resolved in the negative. Clause 8, functions of board. Any debate and objection? Clause 8 is agreed to. Clause 9, Director General, Secretary, and other staff. Any debate and objection? Clause 9 is agreed to. Clause 10, prohibition of exploration, mining, mineral processing, or gold panning without license or environmental impact assessment. Any debate and objection? Clause 10 is agreed to. Clause 11, types of mining and non-mining rights. Any debate and objection? Clause 11 is agreed to. Clause 12, disqualification from holding mining rights and non-mining right. The question is that Clause 12 stands part of the bill. Mr. C. Kangombe.
I thank you once again, Mr. Chairperson. I have the honor and privilege to beg to move that a new clause, Mr. Chairperson, after Clause 12 be inserted with the words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 12 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? amendment is agreed to. Clause 12 as amended. Any further debate? The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson, and thank you. I appreciate your concern on local content. Chairperson, allow me to remind the House that during presentation of this bill at first reading, I informed the House that the current Mines and Minerals Development Act number 11 of 2015 is being repealed and replaced with two bills, namely the Minerals Regulation Commission and another one, the Geological and Minerals Development Bill. As such, the issue which has been raised by the Honorable Member, Mr. Kangombe, is well covered and ably drafted in the Geological and Minerals Development Bill 2024, which will be presented to the House in due course. So far, the bill has reached an advanced stage, and soon it will be tabled on the floor of this House. Let me assure the Honorable Member that the Geological and Minerals Development Bill has further provided for provisions that have created a new institutional framework, a department to deal with issues of local content. The Directorate will be charged with the responsibility of ensuring that issues of local content are broadly dealt with. Therefore, it would be amiss at law to have two pieces of legislation that would have the same provision that speaks to the same issue. Further, it would equally be difficult to regulate, as only one entity should have the mandate to enforce local content. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. C. Kangombe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Mr. Chairperson, first of all, I want to put it on record for the benefit of everyone who is gathered here this afternoon, that by procedure of Parliament, the bill that we have right now is the one which the Minister is requesting us to support. By procedure of Parliament, Honorable Chairperson of this committee, we can't be discussing a bill that is not before this August House. And I want to make it very clear, for the benefit again of not only those of us who are here this afternoon, but those that are following this conversation. The Minister came to this August House, Mr. Chairperson, with a bill. This bill is titled Minerals Regulation Commission Bill. And objective number D reads, repeal and replace the Mines and Minerals Development Act. Meaning this current law which we have, the act which we are using currently, because, Mr. Chairperson, there is no vacuum right now. There is a law in place. As we debate this issue, Mr. Chairperson, there is already a law which we are using to deal with issues of mining. So the Minister comes here with a bill, and we want to support the bill. And the bill is saying, let's repeal the current law and come up with a new law, which is this one. So if the Minister is saying, there is another bill that will come, where these proposals that I'm making today will be captured. By procedure of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, we're supposed to be dealing with the law that we have under consideration. That one which will come, when will it come, Mr. Chairperson? Will it come in 2025? Will it come in 2026? What will happen to Section 20? And I want to help my dear colleagues once again. In the current Act, let me help you so that you appreciate. Mr. Chairperson, in the current law, there's a provision called Section 20. Now, Section 20 has got a wording, and it has got two things, Mr. Chairperson. The first provision in Section 20, and I hope my dear colleagues who are members of Parliament are following the issue that I'm raising. Section 20 in the current law achieves two things, Honorable Chair. Number one, it ensures that a mining company operating in Zambia, if it is looking for a contractor to undertake any works, the first thing they must do is look to a Zambian. The same provision, if a mine wants to decommission its plant, it must first look to a Zambian. If the Zambian has no capacity, Mr. Chairperson, that is when we look to the other foreigners. That is what Section 20 in the current law we are using provides. Under the same provision, there is also a request or a demand that if a mining company is looking for an accountant, the first accountant should first be a Zambian. If we can't find the skills of that Zambian, Mr. Chairperson, that is when we look outside. If a mining company is looking for a geologist, it must first employ a Zambian with skills. That's what Section 20 says. So today, I'm proposing, Honorable Chair, that since the current law has got this nice provision, which helps our Zambian personnel and Zambian companies, why not just cut it out in the current law and put it in the bill so that as we finish our business today, that provision, Honorable Chair, which is meant to protect our people, is captured in this bill. This is a good bill, Minister of Mines, and allow this provision to sit in this law. When you are ready to come to this August House, when your ministry and Ministry of Justice feels that now we are ready with the other law you are talking about, simply delete that provision in that law and maintain it here. Because today, Honorable Chairperson, we need to finish business over this bill. And if we have to finish over this bill, we can't allow the new law not to have any provision which protects our people and which protects those that need to be employed. So, Mr. Chairperson, I don't think this is a controversial issue. If the ministry agrees, which I'm getting from him, that this is not a problem, what the minister is saying is that there will be another law that will come in future. Mr. Chairperson will not be doing justice. Let's keep this provision, a very nice provision. We keep it in the law. When the new debate comes, we'll come back to you, Minister, and say Section 20 was captured from the old law and put in the new law. I think that is something that is not controversial. I think there must be consensus. Things which are not complicated, I think we need to agree. So the people of Kamfinsa, Mr. Chairperson, appealing to the conscience of everyone here, we're coming up with a new law. If we are deleting this provision, let it sit in the new law, and that is my submission. Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much, and thank you to the Honourable Member. Mr. Chairman, what I was explaining here is just additional information for the benefit of my colleague, because we have even had side discussion on this matter. This government, because it cares for local content, let me also say this as additional information. We have already been working on a local content law actually through an SI. Now, I'm giving you additional information. Let me give you additional information because here we are projecting to the public like this government does not care about local content. It does. So that is just additional information. Now, in terms of what we are doing, because we are doing that bill on for geological survey and artisanal mining, that is where we have inserted issues of local content, and it's coming. It has already passed Ministry of Justice. It's on its way to Parliament. So we just don't want to have multiplicity of things. So this one, as it stands, is sufficient. Local content, we are very committed, Honourable Member. Like I said, even on the sides we've discussed, there is no difference here. So we want this bill to stand as it is, and we are very alive to the fact that we need to insert issues of local content in the bill, and that will be done as that other bill comes. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kampyongo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson. And I must say I feel very proud as an MP when I see honourable members actively participate in matters of legislating. This is our primary duty, first and foremost, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the concern raised by the Honorable MP for Kamfinsa, who has proposed that we retain the section which was in the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2015, is very valid. Because like he has already said, Mr. Speaker, the intention of this bill is to repeal and replace the Mines and Minerals Development Act of 2015, where this section is talking about is still existing. What this does, Mr. Chairperson, is that the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, who enforces the Immigration and Deportation Act, is to look at both acts when the mines are requesting for foreign human capital. And the OSS is to ensure that he only gives work permits to those skills that are not available in the market. So that section, the Honorable Member is insisting that it is retained in the new bill, sits well with what is provided for in the Immigration and Deportation Act number 10. So it's simple and straightforward. And I think if the minister is suggesting that he will bring another piece of legislation, therefore, we should be asking the rationale behind the decision to remove that section 20 as it was in the Mines and Minerals Act, which were replacing by this act. So it's important, Mr. Chairperson, that we probably maybe understand the rationale behind its removal completely and not appearing in the new act, which is seeking to replace the Mines and Minerals Act, where that section is well anchored. It's very important, Mr. Chairperson. Like I said, the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, who is responsible for giving work permits to foreign expats, has to look at this act as well. So there's no harm in just agreeing to get it and put it in the new proposed bill, so that when we come next, we shall be dealing with the other elements. And if this objective D was not here, probably we could have given it a benefit of doubt. I submit, Mr. Chairperson.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that submission. Again, you also had side meetings over these matters, and clearly we've given assurances of the fact that we will achieve that which you want us to achieve by amending this one. So just be rest assured that that is going to be done. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kalobo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to agree with the Minister that we've been having side meetings over this bill. And our expectation from this side, Mr. Chairman, was that we were going just to agree. Just was going to take just maybe even 2 minutes, we are done with this bill. But we are seeing things that we never agreed with the Minister. That's why you are seeing this debate. Section 20, which sits in this in the current bill, Mr. Chairman, that is subsection 1A and B, subsection 2A and B. These are the ones that are in contention because they talk about preference for Zambian products, contractors, and services. They also talk about training programs for technical skills and managerial transfer. So now, in Bemba there is a saying which goes like, Ichintu, chintu mwene. Meaning, one bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. What you are trying to do here is like, you have got one bird in the hand.
Yeah. Ufakire.
You have one bird in the hand, then you want to let it go that tomorrow I'll catch another one.
No, you can't.
How? Well, those bills should have come today. And again, Minister is exhibiting the spirit of an SI. We are saying no to an SI. What was the wisdom, Minister, of those people who referenced this particular aspect in the Act? What was the wisdom? That's a beginning point. So, we are saying no because one individual can be presented with a bag of dollars. That is what we are saying, Minister. We don't want to put powers in one individual. So, Minister, can this be put in this bill? Because we are going to have a vacuum, Mr. Chairman. Between now and that time he's talking about, which we don't even know, because all of us here, we have no ability to foresee what is ahead. We only know the past. Even 20 minutes from now, none of us here knows what will happen. So that bill is not there. So on behalf of the people, what we are saying here, we are the voices of the people. This is what people in the Copper Belt want. This is people what in Busakire want. We are coming from mining township. Even equally yourself, Minister, you are coming from a constituency that is a mining constituency. So can we agree? I repeat again, one bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. We may not catch that one. So let us not release what we have now until we catch those 5 that you are looking for. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I want to assure you and the Zambian people, because I know they are listening, that on this aspect we are not going the SI way. We are going to bring a bill on the same one. Mr. Chairman, we are a government, and these things are in the program of this government. They are part of our manifesto, and we will do it. If we are not there, life is about meaning, Mr. Chairman, even if we don't know what will happen in 20 minutes, as long as UPND will run up to 2026, then come and judge us that we never brought it. No, 2026 we'll go for exams, we'll pass those exams and then go forward. So, Mr. Chairman, we'll promise my colleagues, and I know even after this we'll assure them that this government fulfills its promises, and we will fulfill. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Mr. Kangombe.
Mr. Chairperson, I'm following this debate, and I think in my 3 years at Parliament, I've never had the privilege of moving an amendment until this particular opportunity presented itself. And the reason is very simple, Mr. Chairperson. This bill was sent to His Excellency the President for signing. I have read the letter which has come from State House addressed to the Clerk of the National Assembly, where the President is directing that this bill requires further consultations. Now, there are different stakeholders, Mr. Chairperson, that have got concerns regarding this bill. And one of the concerns is that we have deleted a provision in the law. A provision has been deleted. For those that are not aware, in the current law there is a provision. Which provision now in the new law has been deleted? Now my question is, let me read for you, because I have the privilege to stand here right now, and I'll take my time. A holder of a mining right or a mineral processing license shall, not may, but shall, in the conduct of mining operations or mineral processing operations, and in the purchase, construction, installation, and commissioning of facilities, give preference to the A, materials and products made in Zambia. B, contractors and suppliers and service agencies located in Zambia and owned by citizens and citizen-owned companies. This provision is in the current law. Now the bill has deleted this provision. The bill that we are debating today hasn't got this provision. What I've basically done, Mr. Chairperson, is to just copy. In Bemba we say, ukubula fe. I've just copied. Nokubika muri new law, mwifundelia new. Picking from the old document and putting in the new document. That is what I've simply done. I've not created new words. Christopher Kangombe has not come up with any new words. I've simply said, this is not a bad provision. Why is it missing in the new law, Mr. Chairperson? Part B is saying, because I want to help my dear colleagues, a holder of a mining right or mining processing license shall, again it's not saying may, it's saying shall, in the course of operations, A, give preference in the employment to citizens, give preference in the employment to citizens with the relevant qualifications. Mr. Chairperson, this is in the current law. I have not added any word, I've just copied and put it back. My request today is that, dear colleagues, this is not a controversial provision. There are things we can debate, whether it should be 40%, whether it should be 50%, but this one we are just copying and pasting. And this is my amendment. It's nothing, there are no new words I've added, Mr. Chairperson. The last provision as I wind up my submission. B, conduct training programs for the transfer of technical and managerial skills to Zambians. This provision, Mr. Chairperson, is in the current law. And I'm basically saying, instead of deleting this provision, since there is another bill the minister wants to bring, there's no need to add this in the other bill. We have an opportunity today, Mr. Chairperson, to put a provision that protects our people. Is this provision a complicated one? Are you rejecting it because Christopher Kangombe is standing this other side? No, there's no need. This is about our people. This is about our people, Mr. Chairperson. Have I brought any complicated provision? No, Mr. Chairperson. I'm basically requesting, my dear colleagues from your right, that colleagues, Parliament has given us this privileged opportunity to stand in this House. Are we going to be on record that we deleted the provision? Are we going to be on record that we didn't retain the provision? That is what we should be remembered for. If there will be another bill in future, yes, Minister, even those other amendments you've brought, we've supported them.
Honourable Member, you are debating very well, but you're being repetitive. When you rose to debate that, what you are saying is what you've been saying. So you are being repetitive. You are saying the same things over and over.
Mr. Chairperson, I was asked what am I amending. So I was reading for my colleagues, and I think they now appreciate that these are not complicated provisions. I speak to the conscience of each one of us that yes, we can differ on other things, but this particular provision, Honorable Minister of Mines, it is not a complicated provision. I know the ministry has got a way in which it wants to work, but can we retain this one? We'll come and support you when we bring the next bill. And I know there will be other good things that need to be supported. But this particular one, Chairperson, I seek the indulgence of everyone gathered here that we support this amendment. I thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman and Honourable Member. Yes, we are very flexible. So Mr. Chairman, we have given assurance that we want to achieve what our honorable members are talking about in a different style. And what we have brought today, we want it to pass, and we will achieve, all these issues. One thing that I will also assure you is that when you look at my brother's citizens' economic empowerment, it also talks about that. It clearly states what we need to do. It's just that these laws, Mr. Chairman, we haven't been religious, but this government wants to be religious in following these laws because provisions in the Citizens Economic Empowerment Act are very clear. And they actually take care of whatever the honorable member is raising today. It's just that previously there have been neglect, but this government will follow it to the latter, and it will achieve exactly what we want to achieve. And that is why, Mr. Chairman, we work very closely with the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, because we want to achieve preference for our people in various jurisdictions, including the mining sector. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mwila.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for this opportunity to just augment the arguments that my colleagues are proposing this amendment. Honorable Minister, you are promising that this provision will appear in the bill that is yet to come. We haven't seen that bill. Surely, if that bill was treated with the agency and treated as important as the one we are debating now, they should have been moving at the same time. Honorable Minister, my worry, Mr. Chairperson, is the gap that we are going to create. Because the moment this bill passes through and is assented to, the current Mines and Minerals Act will be repealed and stop to operate. And that is the bill which guarantees business for small and medium enterprises to deal with the mines in terms of business opportunities. The current bill provides opportunities for people to be employed in the mines because the law is already there. Honorable Minister, you already know the people that we are dealing with, these mining investors. Because even with the law as it sits now, they still do not give the required opportunities for contractors, suppliers, and employment. They still bring their own contractors to do business with them, sidelining our own SMEs. They still bring their own staff to take up positions for which we have people, Zambians, who are capable of occupying those positions, even with the law that is there. Now, can we imagine a situation where there's going to be a gap? Those small and medium enterprises wishing to do business will just be chased away from the gate because there will be no law that will compel even to entertain them and sit with them on the table and ask them what opportunities are there. The cry of every Zambian in this country, Mr. Chairperson, is that there must be benefits to Zambians from the mineral wealth that we have. If you cannot be employed, at least have an opportunity to supply, have an opportunity to contract. And that is why the current Mines and Minerals Act of 2015 provided Section 20 to ensure that Zambians in their individual capacity in their small and medium enterprises can have a share of the mineral wealth. The gap that is going to exist will simply push the Zambians away from the mineral wealth and leave it free for the investors to do as they wish because there is no law that will compel them to hire or contract a Zambian even to supply stationery. Because there will be no law that will compel them to hire a Zambian even as a secretary. They will simply be coming with their own chain of suppliers. Their supply chain will exclude Zambians from the beginning to the end. The employment will exclude Zambians. It will be at their mercy. So, Honorable Minister, let us provide for this amendment now. Whenever that bill will come, which we don't know when, we will remove it. We will say it has already been taken care of. After all, we are still dealing with the mining sector. We can remove from the bill that is yet to come and provide now for this new bill. We should not create a gap. That is my worry, Mr. Chairperson. Let us protect the Zambian suppliers and contractors and those looking for employment by continuously covering their interests in the existing law. The gap will bring chaos on the copper belt, especially where people look for opportunities to supply and do business with the mines. And we should not allow that gap to exist. I thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and Honorable Member. I think I made it clear that there will be no gap because there hasn't been any gap. That is why I refer to the CEC Act, also takes care of Zambians. And this, we are not trying to alienate our own people. That is not the spirit of the bill. We have laws, like I said, the CEC bill, that takes care of everything that you have raised, Honorable Member. It's comprehensive. It takes care of that. So that is why we created this ministry. UPND created this ministry to take care of such things because our small and medium business owners were not being taken care of. And that's why that was done, Mr. Chairman. So really there will be no gap whatsoever, and the people of Zambia must be rest assured that there will be no gap at all. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Responding to the issues that have been raised by my colleagues pertaining to the vacuum that may be occasioned as a result of repealing this particular provision, I would like to assure this House and the nation that there will be no vacuum. There is no person who is not a Zambian who can be employed without a work permit. A work permit is given by the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security. So let's be assured that there will be no vacuum. Whether the mines or we delete this particular provision, in this to the position of the law, Mr. Speaker.
This bill has been over debated, but there's been an omission of an independent. The Honorable Member for Mr. Mwambazi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've heard the debate, and also I did debate on this very important bill coming from the Copper Belt, born and bred there. Mr. Chairman, if you look at our investors as they come into the country, the first thing they study is our laws to see the loopholes. And then you find that our people are not treated accordingly. The issue of local content, the issue of article, is it clause 20, is very, very important, Mr. Chairman, because if we've got if we are repealing the law or amending it, what is the essence? The essence is to extinguish the shortfall or the issue which the current law is not looking at. But we've got this very important provision, which was in the Mines and Minerals Act, which has been removed from the new Mineral Aggregation Bill. I think it's important. I don't know, maybe the Minister of Mines, where we're having an issue, because this was in the previous law. It looks at our local, our citizens and how It's a compelling law which we need to maintain, Mr. Chairman. If we look at the Citizen and Empowerment Act, it's a subsequent law. So I think it's important that for us to protect our local manufacturing industries, our local people, we maintain this section rather to ensure that our people are well taken care of. Because, Mr. Speaker, if our local products cannot be consumed as it were in the mines and other places, and we give preference to, then what are we talking about industrialization? I think it's important that we protect the local content to ensure that our people who are endowed with these very, very important resources also have a benefit. Mr. Chairman, it's an issue of the 20% subcontracting, which is not in any piece of law. So you cannot enforce it on anybody. So I think it's important that we maintain it to ensure, because it was there already, so I don't see the contention. I think it's important that we just put it there to protect our people, as it were, unless there's any other issue we're not understanding to that effect. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have heard you clearly, honorable members, very, very clearly, and I think what is important is the assurances that we are giving you as government, that this will be done in the law that is coming. And also, like I said, the Mines and Minerals, the Citizens Economic Empowerment Act takes care of things of local content. It does. And that is why it is there. It is to promote local content. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The last one will be Mr. Mewto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The Constitution now is referred to as Amendment Act number 2 of 2016. This Amendment Act of the Constitution of 2016, which was assented to on 5th January, alienated MPs from the council. Right now, MPs are crying to be part of the council. That mistake was done where? In these walls here. These same walls with this roof. Just here. Honorable Kangombe has read a statement there. Regardless of me not reading it here, he has mentioned of Zambian citizens. This parliament is for Zambian citizens. Laws should be made. I stood here and I said, governments are made to save those who don't have. That's why governments are made. To protect the less privileged. Now, Mr. Chairperson, we have two hands. If you have one hand, you are disabled. A lame person is a person or a being with one. Naturally, we are made to have two. Now, you see, me, I'm wondering, the Honorable Minister is not referring to the law which is being repealed. He's referring to the CEEC. I mean, Mr. Chairperson, these two don't match. They don't match. One is dealing with the minerals. The other one is general business. Why then are we bringing this new law? Instead of us doing away with the new law and repealing the law, then we remain with CEEC. Why are we doing this? So you see, he's contradicting himself. Okay, for me, today we don't have a mine in Karao. Nobody knows. Who knew that there would be gold in Mumbwa? Who knew that there would be gold in Kasenseri? Who knew that there was lithium in Mapatizia? Who knew that there's sudorite in Serenge? So even the future, nobody knows. Right now, we have explored. So for the sake of Zambian citizens, let us make laws. My aging, I'm aging. If I had the powers, this law which is trying to protect the interest of the Zambians, okay, me, I don't want to be part of the group that is going to reject this. If it is possible, I don't want to make my soul to be part of this. I don't want. Because we are here to save the citizens. You see, Mr. Chairperson, why didn't the president assent to it? Let us ask ourselves. In that letter which Mr. Honorable Kangombe has referred to, there is further consultation. Indirectly, the president is telling us that look at those disabled people. Now here, we want to ignore. Because we are in this room here, then we walk out, we find those people who we are removing from the law today. What are we going to say? Don't throw what you have. You have a law already. They are saying no, there is no gap. Mr. Chairperson, what does gap mean? A gap means a space which is not occupied. Now, the space right now is occupied. Now you are removing. In language, when you remove from where it was, that space becomes unoccupied. And when it is not unoccupied, it becomes a gap. Now, why are we creating a gap? I want somebody to explain to me why we want to create a gap. Mr. Chairperson, procrastination is a deliberate delay. You see, why should we throw what you have now? You want to throw so that you run and then catch. A zebra, Mr. Chairperson, does not have horns. What made a zebra not to have horns? Is it because it thought it is very fast in running? It didn't know that there are other animals who could go further than itself. That's why today zebras have no horns. Let us not throw. Okay? In short, look here, boss. I'm here for the people of Zambia. I'm not here for an individual. My summary now. Me, I'm going to stand with the law that is sealing the gap. That is the law I'm going to stand for. That is the law I'm standing for now. What Honorable Kangombe has read is what I'm going to support. Because it is there for the Zambian citizens. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Order. No, but don't debate while he's seated. Mr. Chisanga. No, don't do that. As the time is 16:40 hours, I interrupt business for health break.
Parliament Television. The House has taken a 20-minute break, and under consideration is the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024. And I must make mention, this bill is under consideration under the committee, and so when business resumes at 17 hours, we expect resumption of consideration of this bill under committee.
The House has so far considered the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024, and the committee stage to be taken tomorrow, 1st August 2024. The House also did consider the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024 at the second reading stage, and the committee stage to be taken tomorrow, which will be 1st August 2024.
And so that's just about some of the business that has been considered so far from the business resumed at 14:30. But please do remember, business did resume at 09 hours. This was necessitated by a motion that was moved yesterday by Her Honor, the Vice President, that standing orders 24-1, 27 and 123 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable the House to sit from 09 hours until business on the order paper for each day is completed from Wednesday 31st July to Friday 2nd August 2024, and also to consider more than one stage of a bill at a single sitting. So just now we also go on a break. Do join us on the other side. Keep watching Parliament Television.
My name is Achinga Muto. I was born in Kalabo, somewhere there in 1962. From that time, I've lived in Kalabo. I started my school, primary school, 1969. Then I proceeded to secondary school. My primary school was at Lyumba, now they call it Lyumba Day Secondary School, but we used to call it Lyumba Hill Mission School. So from there, I proceeded to Kalabo Secondary School for my secondary school, which those days it was Form 1 to Form 5. Then after Form 5, I went for national service, and that was 1980, somewhere in November, December. From national service, I proceeded to David Livingston, where I did my primary school teaching, and I completed in 1985, and thereupon I started work. So I've been working as a teacher up to the time when I felt, I don't know what came into me, and I was bored with teaching. Somehow I was to attempt this other field, so I resigned from teaching and joined this political world. My first contest I lost because I contested, then I came number 2 as an independent person, and that gave me an encouragement that okay, then I can proceed. So 2011, that was my first win. I won through a party ticket of UPND. So I came here in 2011, 2016 again I won, and this one, 2021, is my third one.